Welcome to an introduction to the Clinician Certification Program. I'm Dr. Regina Nelson, and I'm the president of the ECS Therapy Center, a national 501c3 nonprofit organization, and the CEO of Integral Education Consulting, a for profit education and consulting organization. And I am the one who's developed the Clinician Certification Program, and it is being hosted through the ECS Therapy Center's Plant a Seed for Cannabis Education Program. So the objectives of the Clinician Certification Program, when I first put it together, were very simple. The first was to provide a solid base of understanding regarding the endocannabinoid system and the use of cannabis as medicine. The second was to deliver a quality educational program that is accessible, well-referenced, and focused on patients and provider strategies for success. I also wanted to offer an educated step up for those entering the medical cannabis industry, from bud tender to clinician, a medical cannabis specialist. And I also wanted to afford other educators the opportunity to license really strong curriculum and build their own training businesses. So, what is a clinician? Um, this is a term that kind of threw around for a while, and giving credit where it's due. When I was working on Time for the Talk with Michael Browning, he and I developed this term, and it's really for people who are clinicians or counselors or coaches who are trained in cannabis therapy. They're an endocannabinoid system caregiver having direct contact with and responsibility for medical patients. So again, this is a step up from what we would consider a bud tender. And much of the curriculum has been developed and based off my book, The Survivor's Guide to Medical Cannabis. So, what is the clinician certification? Well, it's really a three-step process. I really believe that the level one course is set for everyone and is accessible um, to really anyone who just has curiosity, questions. But it's a great, excellent first step for people coming in the industry. The level two certification is for people that are committed to working with medical cannabis patients. And the level three is that highest level of working with patients really closely in cannabis therapy planning. So this is really meant, um, again, to benefit those who have long-term career goals in cannabis, but also just provide a really strong base for those who just have some interest and curiosity. So the Clinician Level 1 certification is made up of four particular classes. These classes received accreditation, CME accreditation, from the American Academy of Family Physicians in 2018, and they can continue to carry CE credit. The first course is called Time for the Talk, and it's about communication around medical cannabis. The second course is an introduction to the endocannabinoid system, and it just provides some of the basics that I think we all need to know about this really complex neurotransmitting receptor system that we all have. The third class is on hemp versus cannabis. What are the real differences? We also find out what the real similarities are in this plant. We talk a lot about botany and phytocannabinoids. So it's quite informative. And the fourth component is just targeted dosing strategies. It's the very basics that people need to know and understand either as a patient, so they have a very pleasant experience with cannabis, or as a caregiver, so that they can guide patients in a way that they don't have an uncomfortable or unpleasant experience with cannabis therapy. The Clinician Level 2 class was accredited this year by both the American Academy of Family Physicians and the American Veterinary Medical Association because of the type of classes that it has in it. So the first class is a more in-depth look at the endocannabinoid system. So we really dig more into the endocannabinoid system and how phytocannabinoids interact with the system. The second component is a cannabis therapy planning module, which is much more in depth in helping somebody understand and develop their own therapy plan to follow. The third component is on pediatric cannabis use. And That's because this is such a mainstream media issue. Most of us recognize that children with seizure disorders are utilizing cannabis therapy, but children with many other disorders are as well. And so we'll talk about that in that course. And then the fourth course is on veterinary cannabis use. And we see a lot of people treating their dogs and cats, their pets, as well as some of their farm animals with hemp and cannabis therapies. So that's the Clinician Level 2 certification. And it just rolled out earlier this year. We've already trained several hundred people. And we're looking at full events in both May and July coming up here shortly. The Clinician Level 3 certification is pending accreditation and it will be out by the end of 2019. The four components for this course are cannabis and cancer therapy strategies. Not everyone wants to take a hard hitting approach to cannabis therapy with a cancer diagnosis. And so there are a number of different strategies that people can follow, and we'll discuss those in detail. We'll also, in the second course, talk about developing cannabis therapy plans for the chronically ill over a wide variety of different conditions. The third course is going to focus on cannabis and opiate withdrawal and addiction, which is a major issue in our country right now. And it is an issue we see a lot of people come to cannabis therapy for and have a lot of success in at least lowering the opiates or narcotics that they require to control their pain with cannabis therapy. And then the fourth course will be on seniors in cannabis therapy. So senior citizens have really become the most growing population of medical cannabis patients across the country. And so we'll look at some of the specific issues that they seek to treat. In addition to having the 3 levels of certification for any individual, we also offer a train the trainer session for clinician certification level trainers. We've already trained a first group of clinician level 1 trainers, and in 2019, we'll be offering a second train the trainer session for level 1. And at the end of the year, we'll have a train the trainer session for both level 1 and for level 2. So you can watch the My ECS Therapy website for more information on that. But I came from a background of 25 years in human resources, developing, training departments and programs for Fortune 500 companies, Fortune 100 companies. And I really wanted to bring that skill to this. And so what I've done in putting together really strong curriculum that is accredited by outside agencies and available for, again, continuing education credit is offer strong certification for individuals. But each of those levels have been put together so that there is a full curriculum available to each trainer as they license the curriculum. We meet in a small group. Each trainer gets some individualized attention, and we take some field trips out into the field. We have some people come in and speak as well. There's a Train the Trainer handbook that is specialized for people that are leading these courses. And again, that full level curriculum is provided to the trainer. We really ask for minimal licensing fees. The goal here is really to spread education. I'm but one person. I can't educate everyone. But as some of our early trainers have found, in taking that information back to their communities, it's really helped them grow their business, no matter what that might be in the in the cannabis space. Licensed clinician trainers can wholesale books and journals, which is a nice revenue stream. And you can train and co-train in your community and across the globe with other clinician trainers or even myself. Out of our first clinician trainers groups, I have co-trained quite frequently with Tiffany Stir of Edmond, Oklahoma, and Watch Song. She and I have conducted a number of level 1 clinician trainings together. and Monique Chavez of Southwest Cana Events in Albuquerque. Um, One had me after the trainer, she actually brought me to Albuquerque to do a training. And now we're going to go back to New Mexico and visit a few outlying cities. And with the level 1 training that she'll co-train with me. And then we'll be holding the level 2 in Albuquerque together in early June. So these things are possible. And the trainers that came together during the first session have become a very tight knit group. And I hope to continue to see a training network getting really strong and tight here, because I want to see you all become educational leaders in your community. So since the Commission Certification Program was first introduced in 2017 only, we've already trained more than 2,000 level 1 clinicians in live events. And that includes hundreds of medical professionals who receive CME or CE credit for their attendance. We visited 18 US states and 4 countries, and now we're finally offering online certification. You can visit ecstherapycenter.teachable.com for more information, and this video will be posted there as a free session to allow you to gather information to make an informed decision about engaging in the condition certification program. I do want to encourage you to keep an eye on our website. We will be posting up testimonials shortly from business leaders who have participated in the training, from caregivers, and from patients, medical professionals, and others whose lives have really changed because they attended a condition certification event. Thank you for your time today. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to me via the myecstherapy.com website.